Hello everyone, I'm Helen from Susan's family. Today, I'll be showing you the animal family blanket, rabbit design. For this electronic tutorial, you can search en.sussudiy.com for more details. The blanket consists of two sections, the main body and the decorations. The main body includes this square fabric in the center, the inner edge, the motifs, and the outer edge. Working from the center outwards. Crochet each section of the main body one by one. After that, make and attach the decorations in their corresponding positions. Let's begin with the square fabric. This piece is crocheted using the diagonal method. You'll work back and forth in rows. It's divided into two areas, the increase area and the decrease area. Begin at a corner, working your way up through the increase area. Once you reach the opposite diagonal point, then proceed with the decrease area to form a square shape. Throughout this process, you'll change colors and join new yarn frequently. This will create the desired pattern in your work. You can learn the crochet techniques through this demonstration first. After that, start crocheting according to the pattern. The techniques involved include chain, double crochet and slip stitch. Now, let's watch a demonstration. For easier viewing, I'm using chunky yarn for this demonstration, with random colors. For the yarn details, the color scheme and the appropriate hook size. You can find this information on the detail page of our product, and in the pattern instructions. Start by making 3 chains. Then crochet the first row. Chain 3 as the turning chain. Begin from the 4th stitch from the hook. Pick up this strand on the top of each chain and make 3 double crochets. Treat these 3 chains and the 3 double crochets as one group. Row 1 contains only one group. Row 1 is complete. Move on to row 2. Start by chaining 3. When working back and forth, you need to turn your work. Rotate counterclockwise. Then pick up those 3 chains. Work one group. Begin with chaining 3. Now the wrong side of the chains should be facing you. Pick up the top strand of the corresponding chain. That's the strand just above the back ridge. Make 1 double crochet into each of these 3 chains. If you're unsure of the position, you can count from the right side of the chain. Once done, the group is complete. Insert your hook into the first group below. At the beginning point. Into the chain space. Right here. Slip stitch into that chain space. Continue with another group here. Chain 3 as the turning chain. Into the same chain space, make 3 double crochets. Two groups have been worked in this row. Row 2 is now finished. Move on to row 3. Start with chaining 3. Then turn your work. Work into these 3 chains. Make a group there. Again, the wrong side of the chain should be facing you. Insert the hook into the top strand of each chain to crochet. After completing, pick up the adjacent group into the chain space between the turning chain and the double crochet. That's this chain space. Make a slip stitch. Then into the same chain space, make a group. After that, into the chain space of the adjacent group, make a slip stitch. Then, make a group here. Row 3 is complete. You've crocheted 3 groups in this row. You can see that the texture of this row corresponds to the first row. This is the right side of the fabric. The texture from the double crochets looks neater. When distinguishing the right and wrong sides later, you can refer to the texture. Meanwhile, make sure the yarn tail is at the bottom right corner. Now, let's work on row 4. Follow the same method as before. Start with a turning chain. Then, make a group. After completing, make a slip stitch into the chain space of the adjacent group. Move on to the second group. Make groups in corresponding stitches. Use a slip stitch to connect each group. Keep crocheting. Once you've finished the last group, row 4 is complete. You've crocheted 4 groups in this row. Follow the pattern from here. Continue with the remaining increase area. That concludes instruction of the increase area. Next, we'll work on the decrease area. The technique is similar as before. Here, though, you'll decrease groups at both ends of the diagonal rows. Begin by making 3 chains as the turning chain. Turn the work. Slip stitch into the group below. Then make 1 group. Continue making groups correspondingly, all the way until the inner side of the last group. Don't continue crocheting beyond that. Join with a slip stitch. This reduces 1 group at each end. That completes this row. Now, move on to the next row. Follow the same method. Start with 3 chains. Turn and slip stitch into the group below. Then make 1 group. Next, correspondingly crochet the groups all the way to the inner side of the last group. This row is now completed. After this, simply follow the method from these 2 rows. Continue crocheting all the way until the final row. When finished, there'll be only 1 group in this last row. After completing, slip stitch into the adjacent group. Then chain 3. Turn your work. Slip stitch into the lower group. Fasten off the yarn when done. First, chain 1 to secure. Leave a yarn tail. Cut the yarn. Give it a gentle tug to tighten. Hide the yarn tail on the wrong side of the fabric. You can weave in several stitches. That concludes the decrease area. And that's how you crochet this square fabric. Now, let's discuss a few scenarios you might encounter while crocheting this fabric. I'll demonstrate using a swatch. First, I'll explain how to join new yarn. There are 2 scenarios. Let's start with the first one. Joining new yarn at the beginning of a row. Let me demonstrate. After completing the last group of the previous row, stretch the loop. Pull the fabric through the loop. Take out the new yarn. Make a slip knot. Insert the hook into this double crochet. Draw the yarn through. Adjust the loop size. Chain 3 with the new yarn. Then turn your work. Begin crocheting a group. That concludes the demonstration for changing colors by the side. Now, let's move on to the second scenario. You need to join new yarn within a row. Let me demonstrate. Put the working yarn to the wrong side of the fabric. Take out the new yarn. Make a slip knot. Insert your hook into the chain space. Draw the yarn through. Put the end of the new yarn on the wrong side. Then crochet one group. While making the group, you can try to wrap in the yarn tail and crochet. That concludes how to join new yarn within a row. Moving on to the color change between adjacent groups, for which you need to keep the yarn uncut. There are two scenarios. Let's start with the first one. For a group like this one, it's top or left group. Need the same color. Let me demonstrate. After completing this group, don't cut the yarn. When working the next row, you can use this same yarn. Simply pull it across to crochet the next group. Put the working yarn on the wrong side of the fabric. Give the previous yarn a gentle tug to tighten, but don't pull the carried yarn too tightly. For this carried yarn, when crocheting the pattern, wrap it into the stitches. That covers the first scenario. Now, let's move on to the second one. For a group like this one, you use the same color around it. But you need the same color in the group on the bottom left. Or the top left. We'll simply carry this yarn over and crochet with it. That concludes the second scenario. So, we've covered all scenario for color change, which leaves the yarn uncut. Next, we'll discuss the case where you need to cut the yarn. For a group like this one, you don't need the same color around it, but you need it here on the bottom left. Two or more groups away. In that case, leave a tail about 15 centimeters long. Then cut the yarn. When crocheting, simply join the new yarn. Now, I'll demonstrate how to weave in the ends after cutting the yarn. In the color change section, first for the yarn end. From the top of this chain, draw it through. Give it a gentle tug to tighten. This is tantamount to tie a knot. Then, tuck the remaining tail on the wrong side of the fabric. It's best to weave in a few stitches to ensure it's well hidden. For extra security, you can split the yarn end into 2 parts. Take one part and draw it through an adjacent stitch. Then, tie a square knot with both ends. Tuck the remaining tails together into the fabric. Go ahead and weave in a few more stitches like this. For the remaining ends, excluding the beginning tail, tuck each tail into the fabric. For the joining yarn tails, weave into the fabric with several more stitches. That concludes the scenarios for color changes with yarns being fastened off. Next, let's discuss when the groups with the same color are further apart, with at least 2 groups in between. To make crocheting easier, you can join a new yarn in one of these areas. A ball of yarn has 2 tails. One on the surface and one in the center. When you only have one ball, you can use the other end to join. If you have more than one ball, simply join the yarn with a new ball. First, put the previous color's tail to the wrong side of the work. Then pick up the corresponding yarn. Join the yarn. That's how you handle the color change with distant groups. We've now covered crocheting the square fabric. Next, we'll crochet the inner edge section. Work around the outside of the square fabric. You'll be using quite a few new stitch techniques. The pattern has all the necessary markings. I won't go through the list here. Now, let me demonstrate the specific crochet method. We'll start with the first round. Begin crocheting from any corner. Here, I'm on the right side of the fabric. I'll start at the upper right corner. That's the top right spot along the diagonal. Make sure the beginning tail is at the bottom right. Insert your hook into the chain to join the yarn. Then make 3 chains as a beginning chain. These 3 chains can be counted as 1 double crochet. Make 2 double crochets in the same stitch. As you crochet, be mindful of weaving in the ends. Pick up the chain space to the left. Make 2 double crochets. Insert your hook into the next chain space. In the following chain space, make 3 double crochets. Make 2 double crochets into the next chain space. Continue this pattern, making 3 double crochets in one chain space, and 2 double crochets in the next. Keep crocheting alternatively. When you finish the last chain space, chain 2 as a transition. Then, work along this side. Again, insert your hook into the chain space. Follow the pattern, alternating between 3 double crochets per chain space and 2 double crochets per chain space. Keep crocheting. As you go, weave in any yarn tails you encounter. After completing the last chain space, chain 2 as a transition. I consider these 2 chains as a corner. Spaces between corners are sides. Continue crocheting along the sides and corners. On the next side, you'll encounter chains. Insert your hook as before. Let me point out the spot. That's like picking up these 2 strands. Crochet the corresponding number of double crochets accordingly. Here, you'll make 3 double crochets. Pick up each of these 3 chains and crochet correspondingly. The next stitch is a double crochet. Pick up the entire double crochet. Make 2 double crochets. Continue with this method. Crochet alternately. At the corner, chain 2 for transition. The corner is now complete. Then, pick up this side and crochet along it. Insert U-hook as before. Pick up 3 chains. Make 3 double crochets accordingly. Pick up the entire side of the double crochet. Make 2 double crochets. Continue in this manner. Crochet until you reach the corner. Make 2 chains. Then, pick up the beginning chain. Count up from the bottom to find the 3rd chain. Pick up the 2 strands of the chain. Insert the hook and make a slip stitch to join. Make sure to pull the slip stitch tight to connect the beginning and end. This avoids extra stitches for the later rounds. For the next round, you need to change colors. Cut the yarn. Tuck the yarn tail to the wrong side of the fabric. Now, the first round is complete. Move on to crochet the second round. Join the yarn at any chain space on a corner from the previous round. Start by making 3 chains as a beginning chain. Count that as 1 double crochet, then chain 3. Into the same chain space, make 1 double crochet. Followed by another chain. Again, in the same chain space, make 1 double crochet. Three chains and 1 double crochet. This completes the corner. For the side section, begin with a chain. Next, insert your hook into the 6th double crochet from the left. Make a front post double crochet, FPDC for short. Yarn over once. Insert the hook into the right side of the double crochet. Exit through the left side. You've picked up the double crochet from the front. Now yarn over and draw the yarn through. Yarn over again, and draw through the first 2 loops. Repeat this process twice. 1, 2. Now you have the front post double crochet, then chain 4. In the same stitch, make another front post double crochet. Yarn over. Insert the hook in front of the previous front post double crochet. Go in through the right side. Exit through the left side. Crochet accordingly. I treat both front post double crochets and the chains in between as one group. Chain 1. Then skip over 5 stitches to the left. Pick up the next stitch to work your group. Start with a front post double crochet. Then chain 4. Again, make a front post double crochet in the same spot. The group is complete. Then, chain 1. Skip 5 stitches and make another group. Separate groups with 1 chain. Follow this pattern. Continue crocheting. Once you complete this group, chain 1. Then skip 5 stitches. Now you have reached the chain space at the corner. Make a corner pattern here. That means making 1 double crochet, 3 chains, 1 double crochet, 1 chain, 1 double crochet, 3 chains and 1 double crochet. For the following corners, just use this pattern to crochet. For the following sides, crochet in the same manner as the first side. Follow this pattern. Keep crocheting. When you finish the last side, you are at the beginning corner. Pick up the chain space next to the beginning chain. Join with 1 slip stitch. Tighten. You'll need to change color for the next round. Cut the yarn. Round 2 is now complete. Move on to round 3. Join the yarn in the same chain space where you just made the slip stitch. Then make 2 chains as a beginning chain. Count these 2 chains as 1/2 double crochet. Continue in the same chain space, working 5 double crochets. As you work, you can weave in the previous yarn tail. When you encounter a dense stitch pattern, tuck in the yarn ends as you go. If you have less stitches, just hide the ends on the wrong side separately. Go ahead and adapt to your own situation. I'll skip repeated demonstration for this step. Once finished, pick up the next chain space. That's where you make 1 chain. Make 1 double crochet. Then, pick up the next chain space. Crochet 5 double crochets and 1/2 double crochet. You've now completed this corner section. For the side area, below the chains, pick up the center stitch of those 5 double crochets to the left. Make 1 single crochet. Make sure to catch the chain above as you crochet. Next, skip to the chain space on the left side. Make 1/2 double crochet. Then, 5 double crochets. Followed by 1/2 double crochet. when you encounter a chain space between last round's groups. Pick up the center stitch of the 5 skipped stitches. Make 1 single crochet there. In the chain space of the group stitch, correspondingly make 1/2 double crochet, 5 double crochets and 1/2 double crochet. Continue in this manner. Keep crocheting. Once you've completed the side section, move on to the corner area. In the next chain space, make 1/2 double crochet, 5 double crochets. In the adjacent chain space, make 1 double crochet. In the following chain space, make 5 double crochets. And 1/2 double crochet. Now, the corner is finished. Follow the same pattern for sides and corners. Work the last single crochets at the second chain of the beginning chain. Join with a slip stitch through these 2 strands. Give it a gentle tug to tighten. Cut the yarn. The third round is now complete. Move on to the fourth round. On the previous round's beginning chain, pick up where you made the slip stitch, and join the yarn. Chain 1 to start. Make a single crochet in the same stitch. Pick up the stitches of the double crochets and half double crochets. Make 1 single crochet into each. The adjacent stitches might pucker slightly. Insert the hook through the 2 strands directly above. For the single crochet below, make an untightened slip stitch. meaning, don't pull the slip stitch too tight. When you encounter double crochets or half double crochets, work one single crochet into each stitch. When you reach a single crochet, again, make an untightened slip stitch. Follow this method. Crochet all the way around. After the last untightened slip stitch, at the beginning crochet, join with a slip stitch. Give a gentle tug to tighten. Then, cut the yarn. Finish round 4. Move on to round 5. In the second left stitch of the previous round, insert the hook into the back loop only. You'll see 2 strands in this stitch. The one in front is the front loop. The one at the back is the back loop. Insert your hook and join the yarn in the correct position. Then, chain 2 as the beginning chain. This can be counted as 1/2 double crochet. For the following stitches, work into the back loop only. Make 3 single crochets correspondingly. Next, make 1/2 double crochet in the adjacent stitch. Then, in the next stitch, make 1 double crochet. One chain and 1 double crochet. Then chain 1. Continue in the same spot, making another double crochet. 1 chain. 1 double crochet. Next, pick up the back loop of the next adjacent stitch. Make on 1/2 double crochet. Three single crochets. And 1/2 double crochet. Skip the next stitch. When you reach the slip stitch, pick up the braid. Make 1 double crochet. 1 chain 1 and 1 double crochet. For those single crochets, insert the hook into the back loop of the corresponding stitch and crochet. For the untightened slip stitches, insert the hook into the braids. For the centered single crochet at the corner, insert into the stitch and crochet corresponding stitches. Refer to the pattern for specifics. Continue crocheting. Remember to leave some stitches unworked as indicate. After the last stitch, at the beginning chain, pick up both strands of the second chain. Join with a slip stitch. Pull tight. Cut the yarn. Round 5 is complete. Now, let's work on round 6. In this round, you'll use 2 colors. For clarity and explanation, I'll refer to the beginning color as color 1, and the other color as color 2. Refer to the pattern and pick up color 1 at the top of the previous round's beginning chain, where you slip stitched before. Insert your hook and join the yarn. Then, chain 2 as a beginning chain. Count this as 1/2 double crochet, HDC for short. Next, pick up stitches. Make 4 half double crochets correspondingly. Then, continue with 1/2 double crochet in the adjacent stitch. But for this one, switch to color 2. First, make an incomplete half double crochet, yarn over, insert the hook, yarn over and pull through. That's an incomplete double crochet. Now, take out color 2. Hang color 2 on your left hand. Leave a yarn tail. Yarn over again. Draw color 2 through all the loops on your hook. The half double crochet is now complete, and we've also changed colors. Next, pick up the chain spaces between the double crochets on the left side. Make a popcorn stitch with 5 double crochets, DC5 popcorn for short, and change colors again. Start with color 2 here. Pick up the chain space, and make 5 double crochets. As you work, weave in color 1 as you go. Put the tails at the back and wrap them in while crocheting. Afterward, stretch the loop on the hook. Then, remove the hook. Insert the hook into the first stitch of those 5. Now, pull the stretched loop through. The fabric should pop forward. Next, chain 1 to secure. Take up color 1 for this part. Gently stretch the yarn. Yarn over and pull through. You've completed the chain. Your DC5 popcorn is done. And the color change is finished. Continue with color 1. Work into the next chain space. Make 5 half double crochets. Remember to weave in color 2 ends. On the 5th stitch, switch to color 2. The color change is the same as before. Start with an incomplete half double crochet. Pick up color 2. Gently stretch the yarn. Yarn over and pull through. Finish the half double crochet and change colors. Again, work into the next chain space. Make a DC5 popcorn and change colors. Insert the hook and make 5 double crochets. Don't forget to weave in color 1 ends. Stretch the loop wide. Remove the hook from the loop. Insert the hook into the first stitch. Draw the loop through. The fabric should now protrude forward. Pick up color 1. Gently stretch the yarn. Yarn over and pull through. That completes the DC5 popcorn and the color change. From here on, pick up the stitches of the half double crochets, the single crochets and some double crochets. Make half double crochets. In the chain space between the double crochets, make the DC5 popcorn. All half double crochets are worked with color 1. Popcorns are crocheted using color 2. Remember to change colors just before the corresponding stitch. For half double crochet, change colors by working an incomplete half double crochet. For DC5 popcorn, change color when chaining to secure. Refer back to the previous demonstration for guidance. Continue crocheting according to the pattern. Always stretch the yarn before changing colors. No color change is needed for the last popcorn. After that, at the top of the beginning chain, which is the topmost chain, slip stitch into these 2 strands. Tighten. When joining with a slip stitch on the beginning chain later, always insert the hook into the topmost chain of the corresponding beginning chain, and always pick up 2 strands. I'll skip the repeated explanation later. Cut the yarn from here. Leave a bit of length for the other yarn end before cutting. And that completes round 6. Now, we'll crochet round 7. This round will involve 3 colors. As usual, I'll refer to them in the order used, as color 1, color 2, and color 3. Start by referring to the pattern and picking up color 1. Join the yarn at the beginning chain. Then, make 1 chain as your beginning chain. Make a single crochet into the corresponding position, and hide the other 2 yarn tails while crocheting. Insert the hook first. Pick up the other 2 colors. Leave some tails. Place them above the hook. Continue making the single crochet. Work into the next stitches. Make single crochets accordingly. Keep all yarn tails above the hook. Tuck them in as you go along. When you reach a popcorn, pick up the chain that used to secure the popcorn. Make one single crochet. Then, continue working into the next stitches. Make 3 single crochets correspondingly. Then, chain 2. For the following part, use color 2. First, stretch the loop of color 1. Remove the hook from the loop. Place it behind. Then pick up color 2. Insert your hook into the same stitch. Draw color 2 through. Chain 8. Now, turn back, beginning from the second chain from the hook. Pick up the top strand of the chain. Make untightened slip stitches into each. After completing this part, you won't need color 2 for a while. Let's take care of the yarns. Stretch the loop. Then pick up the ball of yarn. Thread it through the loop. Give it a gentle tug to tighten. The yarn end is now secured. Now, take up color 3. Insert the hook to the right of the chain of color 2, where you previously worked the untightened slip stitch. Start from the bottommost chain. Pick up 2 strands like this to work into. Draw color 3 through. Make 2 chains as a beginning chain. Pick up 2 strands from the left side chain. Make 1 half double crochet. Then, make 3 double crochets. Two half double crochets. And 1 chain correspondingly. Then, insert the hook into the same spot as the previous half double crochet. Make 1 slip stitch. Don't pull tight here, then make a chain as a transition. Continue crocheting on this side. For the untightened slip stitches, pick up the back loop. Make 2 half double crochets. Three double crochets. and 2 half double crochets correspondingly. You've now completed the chains. Deal with the yarn tail like you did for color 2. I refer to the pattern worked with color 2 and 3 as leaves. Now, switch back to color 1 and continue crocheting. Place the chains behind the leaf. Then, from the left side of the leaf, make 1 single crochet in the same spot as the previous one. Tuck the yarn tails behind as you crochet and hide them. Continue picking up stitches. Make 2 single crochets correspondingly. For the popcorn, pick up the chain and make 1 single crochet. Keep picking up stitches and the chains of popcorns, and make single crochets accordingly. Work until you reach the next leaf position on the pattern. That is indicated by a red dot on the pattern. When you're at the corresponding spot, make 1 chain. Now, switch to colors 2 and 3 for the next leaf. Pick up color 2 first. Stretch it flat. Release color 1. Then insert the hook into the adjacent stitch. Draw color 2 through. Chain 8. Then, start from the second stitch from the hook. Pick up the top strand of the chain. Make an untightened slip stitch into each. Once done, secure the yarn ends. Set it aside. Now, take up color 3. Stretch it. Insert the hook from the right side of the chain. Draw the yarn through chain 2 as a beginning chain. Then, correspondingly, make 1/2 double crochet, 3 double crochets, two half double crochets, and 1 chain. In the same spot, make an untightened slip stitch. Make 1 chain as a transition. Then, into the untightened slip stitches, pick up the top strands, and make 2 half double crochets. Three double crochets. And 2 half double crochets across. Tidy up your yarn. The leaf is now complete. Switch to color 1. Behind the leaf. Pick up the stitch on the left side of the leaf. Make a single crochet. Weave in the yarn tails of color 2 and color 3 as you go. When you encounter a red dot on the pattern, make a leaf accordingly. For the leaves on the corner, please follow the previous demonstration for the corner leaf. For the leaves along the side, work as shown here. Refer to the pattern for guidance. With the previous demonstration, continue crocheting. After completing the last stitch, slip stitch into the first single crochet. Give it a gentle tug to tighten. Since you'll need color 1 again later, don't cut the yarn yet. Leave some tails and cut color 2 and color 3. You've now completed the 7th round. Move on to the 8th round. Start with 3 chains as the beginning chain. Pick up stitches 1 by 1. Make a double crochet into each. Be mindful to begin from the first stitch to the left. The beginning chain corresponds to the bottom single crochet. Arrive at the leaf. Pick up the chain space behind. Make 2 double crochets. Two chains and 2 double crochets. Continue picking up stitches. Start from the adjacent stitch. Make a double crochet into each. At the leaf position, in the chain space behind, make 1 double crochet. For the following single crochets, work double crochets correspondingly. When crochet in the corner chain spaces, use the same method as for the first corner. When crochet in the side chain spaces, make 1 double crochet. Refer to the pattern for specifics. Keep crocheting. Finish with a slip stitch into the beginning chain. Give a gentle tug to tighten. Do not cut the yarn. Round 8 is complete. For rounds 9 through 10, pick up the stitch and make double crochets. At the corner, work the corner pattern accordingly. Begin each round with 3 chains as a beginning chain. Then, pick up the first stitch to the left and start crocheting. Finish with a slip stitch into the beginning chain, then tighten. No new techniques are used in these 2 rounds. Follow the pattern to complete them. When done, fasten off the yarn. Move on to round 11. Join the yarn to the top of the previous round's beginning chain. Then make 2 chains as beginning chain. Pick up last round's beginning chain. Make a front post double crochet. Pick up the entire stitch to crochet. Continue picking up the double crochet stitches. Make 2 front post double crochets correspondingly. Next, make a bobble stitch with 3 double crochets, DC3 bobble for short. Insert the hook into the stitch. First, make 3 incomplete double crochets. Yarn over. Insert the hook into the indicated stitch. Yarn over and pull through. Then yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. You'll have 2 loops left on the hook. That's an incomplete double crochet. Now, make 2 more incomplete double crochets. 1, 2. At this point, there will be 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over and draw through all loops in once. Complete the DC3 bobble. Continue picking up the double crochet below. Make a front post double crochet into each corresponding stitch. When you encounter a corner chain space, you'll need to pick up the leaf, as well as the chain space, and crochet together. Yarn over once. Then locate the top of the leaf. There are chain spaces at both sides of the leaf. In the center, there's a slip stitch. Here, you can choose either side's chain space, or the slip stitch to insert the hook. Then, insert the hook into the chain space behind, and make 2 half double crochets. followed by 2 chains as a transition. In the same spot, continue with 2 more half double crochets. Move on to the double crochet position. Make 12 front post double crochets evenly to the left. After that, make a DC3 bobble. First, make 3 incomplete double crochets. Lastly, yarn over and draw through all loops on your hook. That completes the DC3 bobble. Make 7 front post double crochets in corresponding stitches afterwards. Then, pick up the adjacent stitch and the top of the leaf. Make a DC3 bobble. Continue with front post double crochets and DC3 bobbles. After completing each DC3 bobble, the next one should be secured to the bottom leaf. This means between 2 bobbles that attach to the leaves, there will be 1 bobble that no need to be attached to the leaves. This is tantamount to skip 1 bobble and secure the next one with leaf below. At the corner spot, pick up chain spaces and attach to the corner leaf. Follow this way. Refer to the pattern as you continue. After completing the last stitch at the first front post double crochet, slip stitch into that stitch. Pull tight and cut the yarn. Round 11 is now completed. Move on to round 12. With the hook behind, insert into the right side of the first front post double crochet from the previous round. Exit through the left side. Join the yarn. Chain 2 as a beginning chain. Make a back post double crochet in the same spot. Yarn over, then insert the hook from behind, and pick up the front post double crochet to the back. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. Repeat this twice. Once. Twice. Complete the back post double crochet. Continue with the back post double crochet in the next adjacent stitch. Yarn over. Insert into the right side of the corresponding stitch. Exit through the left side. Pick up and crochet the corresponding stitch from behind. Finish the back post double crochet. Continue with back post double crochets afterwards. When you encounter a bobble, pick up that stitch. Make a DC3 bobble. Afterwards, continue with back post double crochets in each corresponding stitch. When you come across a corner chain space, make 2 half double crochets. 2 chains and 2 half double crochets. Keep going with back post double crochets. For bobbles, make a DC3 bobble into the bobble. Continue working in this manner. Refer to the pattern for specifics. Complete the last stitch. Slip stitch into the first back post double crochet stitch. Tighten the yarn. Cut the yarn. Round 12 is completed. Move on to round 13. Start at the first back post double crochet from the previous round. Insert your hook as you would for a back post stitch. Pick up the corresponding stitch to the back. Join the yarn. Chain 2 as a beginning chain. Make a back post double crochet in the same spot. Then, make back post double crochets across. When you encounter a bobble stitch, make a DC5 popcorn in that stitch. Continue with back post double crochets in each corresponding stitch. At the bobble, make a DC5 popcorn. At the corner chain, follow the same corner technique from the previous round. Refer to the pattern for specifics. Keep crocheting. After completing the last stitch, slip stitch into the first back post double crochet. Pull the yarn tight. Cut the yarn. Round 13 is complete. Move on to round 14. Beginning at the first stitch of the previous round, insert the hook the same way as the back post stitch, and join the new yarn. Chain 2 as your beginning chain. Make back post double crochets correspondingly below. Continue with back post double crochets in the adjacent stitches. Add a popcorn. Insert the hook into the right side hole. Make a double crochet there. For subsequent popcorn stitches, always insert into the right side hole, and make a double crochet. In all other stitches, work back post double crochets as indicated. For corner stitches, follow the method used in the previous round. Refer to the pattern. Complete this round accordingly. Join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. Pull tight to secure. Break the yarn. Round 14 is now complete. Move on to round 15. Join the yarn at the first stitch of the previous round. Start with 1 chain. Make a single crochet into the corresponding stitch. Continue working single crochets into each stitch evenly across. At the corner, make 3 single crochets into the chain space. After that, again work single crochets into each corresponding stitch. Into the chain spaces, make 3 single crochets. Follow this pattern. Finish crocheting this round. When done, join with a slip stitch to the first stitch and pull tight. Cut the yarn tail. Tuck in all the yarn ends to the wrong side. Go ahead and complete this step. And that concludes the inner edge.